5,000 donations?
They collected $5,000 in donations. And the reason I'm mentioning this, they collected $5,000 in donations before they even started. Because they put an ad on Back to Bhakti. I'm saying this in case you want to do anything like this. They, not necessarily putting an ad on Back to Bhakti, but the principle of asking for sponsors, and they got $5,000 in donations to sponsor the books that were sent to them from Back to Bhakti. And then they went on anxiety-less book distribution, not thinking about the money when they would approach the people. And so the people didn't feel that the devotees wanted money from them, but they just really wanted to give them Krishna consciousness. And so the people were inspired. We said any books for any donation. So they were inspired to give more than if we had said $3.95 or whatever the case may be, because they were so overwhelmed, because they never had that experience. And then at Topanga days, you'd see the people with their beer and their meat and their gopi feet that they were going to go home with to purify their house.
And so we collected almost $5,000, another $5,000.
And then they, because of their mood to not be nervous about money, another $5,000 came from all the people that they were meeting for the books and the posters. So I'll share some about the other places that we were at. One was China. And generally, when we go to China, and I'm happy to mention this because I know the yoga students are here, when Gurudev is in China, because practically everybody in China does the exercise yoga. So Gurudev always tells there that what is the real meaning of yoga? He said, what you're calling yoga with all the exercises, this is actually exercise. And it's important to do for the health of the body. And it also clarifies the mind also when the body is working well. But the real definition of yoga, yoga means to add two things together or to link. Just like you might link two blocks of cement together, two bricks together, two blocks together by the medium of cement when you're making a house. So similarly, the real definition of yoga is to link we unlimited infinitesimal souls. We're not these bodies, we're only 1/10,000th the tip of the hair as a spiritual spark, but although very tiny, that tiny spark is what gives the power to the body. And without that spark, which is 1/10,000th the tip of the hair, the body has no more power. It doesn't exist anymore. Or it becomes dust. Dust thou word, dust thou beast. So, not only does it give power to the body, but the soul is more powerful than 1,000,000 suns and more brilliant than 1,000,000 suns. So connecting us, infinitesimal, unlimited souls, with the Supreme Soul, Krishna, who's the source of all of our existence, the source of innumerable universes. So that is the real definition of yoga. And that kind of yoga happens by the linking process of love and affection, by bhakti yoga, by the chanting of Hare Krishna, by reading all these transcendental literatures, by eating the food that's been offered to Krishna, vegetarian foodstuffs that's offered to Krishna, and by associating with devotees, just like whoever we associate with, that's what we become like. Even if I wasn't a drunkard, if I associate with drunkards, chances are I'll become like that. Just like you yoga students, because you were associating with Shama and Dhyana Prem, you developed an interest to find out about bhakti. So by all those ways, one links up with the Supreme Soul. And what happens is, just like, I don't know if it's here in America where you probably get thrown in jail, but in India, you find, those of you who've been in India, on the roads, you have a big truck with lots of people in the truck, in the back of the truck, and then you have some guy on his bicycle who's riding along behind the truck, and then he grabs on to the back of the truck, and he starts going at the speed of the truck. Or something that is acceptable in the West is that you're sitting on an airplane, even though you're an ordinary person, and all of a sudden you're just sitting there and going 2,000 miles an hour. You get all those yogic powers just by being in connection with the airplane. So what to speak of being in connection with God, we get the powers of God. So the spiritual master, who's totally linked with the Supreme Lord, he has the powers of the Supreme Lord, and therefore he can do all those wonderful things that we were just discussing. So when we would be in China and we would go to the yoga studios, we would tell them that India has sent 2 types of yoga to the West. One, the first one that they sent, to get everybody ready for the second time, is physical yoga exercises, which are good for the health and good for strengthening the mind. Because sometimes in the yoga exercises, they'll tell you, okay, now lie down and do sarvasana, and think of all the sounds in this room. And then you're hearing, like, okay, can you do that now? You hear the refrigerator, the pipes, maybe the crickets, and then they say, well, now only concentrate on one sound. So they try to make some kind of control of the mind. So first India sent that, and then I'd say, and then India sent the other kind of yoga, which is called mantra yoga meditation, to go with the yoga exercises. And it can go even when you're not doing the exercises. So because I was in the yoga class, I would show them, suppose you're making your neck go that way and then that way. So I would tell them that many of the teachers complain to us that our students, their minds wander all over the place when they're doing the exercise. And it's important to keep your mind fixed. So I'll tell them that, okay, then you chant as you're going this way, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and then going the other way, and then down and up and stretch this way. And the students loved it, because as I was mentioning this morning, that I'm amazed more on this tour than in previous tours, that the reception of the general people is just like it was back in the 60s when Srila Prabhupada came. That is thousands. Even when he, back in 1967, when Srila Prabhupada first went to San Francisco with these 3 strange-looking personalities called Jagannath, with no arms and 2 big eyes. And he had Shyamasundar carve Jagannath about that high. And then he had Jayananda, under his guidance, build this crinkety cart with round wooden wheels and paint some designs on them. And then they took Jagannath on procession, and there was 10,000, 20,000 people chanting Hare Krishna, chanting Jai Jagannath, and honoring Krishna Prasadam. So that